some point I need to figure out why WinApp keeps crashing now when I first start trying to play the playlist. It started, I think it was like after the last Supermarket Simulator stream we did, where like I finally realized there was like Undertale songs in the Walking Dog playlist. It was like after that, for some reason, and whenever I start playing a playlist from there, it just randomly crashes sometimes, and I have no idea why. I need to get that looked at some point. Although it seems weird for like the sniffy mode to be working like that from Spotty, because the beaks don't really like shift like that when they smell, as far as I'm aware. I don't know, that's kind of an interesting one. But anyway, let's go ahead and... Where's the thing? Here's the thing. It's been 2 weeks since we've done one of these, so I've gotten everything about how the speedrun and everything works. But welcome in, everybody, to our attempt at making a speedrun submission video for Fastest Furs. I actually said all that without giving up myself. That was kind of nice. Welcome in Call 3X. Welcome in Kyofu, thank you for the lurk. Welcome on in, King. How y'all doing tonight? Something good about you? You're a heckin' cutie. You're a good friend of mine, and I want nothing but the best for you. Also, to put a little bit of more emphasis on it, cutie. But yeah, let me first turn the controller on. Let's see if I remember how to play this game at this point, because yeah, if I go more than a week without playing something, I tend to just forget a lot of like basic things until I actually get like used to it again. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing to happen with that. Okay, last time I played this was literally on the first day of the year, 2 weeks ago, which I guess shouldn't really surprise me because I got enough fun when last played, but still. But yeah, let's go ahead and get the game going. Launching the game. I probably should have waited for thing. Yeah, you'll be here for 1 hour today, then watch the rest after work tomorrow. Sounds good. As long as you're able to enjoy yourself, that's the important bit. Okay, so first check. Okay, the right buttons are doing the right things. I don't know, for some reason, it's something to do with the way my controller is set up sometimes. Although I think now I have the Steam input thing active, so I think that should more standardize everything. But every now and again, my controller would sometimes, like, it kind of shows like a different color. Like right now it's actually glowing green, which usually it goes blue once it gets connected. Usually when it does stuff like that, it means it's got like a different like profile or whatever loaded in. But apparently I guess in this case we're gonna do that. You know, you're also gonna lurk for a bit? For me, I guess host on a friend stream? Ooh, heck yeah. Put their channel name in here. I'll give them a lurk while I do my thing here. I definitely want to support Beans and my good friend. Wait, what? Grammar. I want to support my Beans and their Beans, good Beans, and Beans. Beans, the musical fruit. You say guest host, but mostly just there. Hey, it still counts. You're guesting on a stream, and that's the important thing. You're doing the thing. And yeah, so I would do the D10 roll to try to figure out which what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy that and paste real quick. I'll just open up a new tab. All right, and they are hereby being lurked upon. That's kind of a cute avatar too. Heck yeah. But yeah, so okay. So one thing I only just now realized I should have thought of would be how to like actually introduce the video part itself when I get the run submission thing set up. I've never really been good at like getting official starts, as people would probably know just by the start of my streams. Yeah, because I know last time I did it, I just kind of picked an arbitrary moment and just put like a little timestamp and then I just started going with the introduction. Hopefully they can remember. I don't know. Yeah, I'm already, because I'm also still kind of waking back up because I try to take a little bit of a nap. And by nap, I mean just like I close my eyes for like 15-20 minutes on my computer chair. Try to make sure I had enough like energy and awakeness for this game. And I guess I could have still maybe I should have set my alarm earlier, but oh well. Epirin, yep, yeah, that's pretty accurate. But okay, so first let me find out. I think I'll just use the same tab right here. So we'll say at the 5-minute recording mark-ish. Yeah, so we still got another like 25-ish seconds until we get to that on the recording. All right, yeah, I'm still kind of out of sorts because, like I said, I'm still kind of waking up and kind of realizing what reality I'm in. But yeah, you know, I think I'll use that as just my basic around that time. So we'll start. I need to think of better intros. All right. Okay, we'll just do it in 3, 2. Hello, fastest. Oh, okay, no. No, for some reason I keep getting like self-conscious by the way my model's eyes look because my camera doesn't quite capture my eyes being like fully open like they're supposed to. So I keep giving myself like false starts. But anyway, yeah, reset. And hello, fastest first submission crew. Okay. We start the video and the first thing you say is that I'm cute. You're just calling me out right in front of all the fastest first submission guide people. How could you do this to me? But yeah, welcome in, fastest first submission people. So I have already submitted this game for consideration as of the last one, which I think was, oh god, I'm trying to remember. Me trying to use my memory is not a good thing. I think it was back in like October or so, something like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a kind of refresh submission video because there's a couple more things I've been kind of looking into. I'm still developing certain kind of smaller parts of the run. And yeah, I'm gonna be showing off the any percent category. And I will say, so basically a couple incentives I'm going to be submitting as well for this is an option called No Body Mode. No Body is a secret character that you can earn after beating the game properly beating the game properly initially, which kind of is redundant, but I don't know. But yeah, so when you play as No Body, you have you have a benefit and you have a hindrance. You have the benefit of every source of damage you do deals double damage. So if you attack an enemy with a sword, double damage. Attack an enemy with one of your spells, double damage. You reflect a projectile against an enemy, double damage. The downside is that you also take double damage. So you can melt bosses like really super fast with it, which is a super heckin' cool thing. But you can also get yourself melted by just like random enemies and random parts of any stage and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a challenge mode, but also gives you a chance to just like absolutely wreck things if you know what you're doing as well. I'm thinking of doing one of two options. I'll let you all figure out which one you want to do if you accept this. One of them would be just there's like a donation incentive to get to a certain value, and then if they make it or not, I just do the entire run as No Body, or I just do the entire run as just the main character Flame. Or alternatively, we could have it set up to where it's kind of like an ongoing bid war, where whichever option is winning the most, I basically swap to that either at the moment that it like the other character overtakes the other one, or like certain prescribed points like the start of a stage or whatnot. There was a third one I wanted to maybe suggest, but I can't remember what that one was I was thinking of from earlier. But I'm sure that'll come back to me later. I can add it on after the fact. But yeah, so for this run, for this submission video, I'm just gonna be showing the basic any percent run, which doesn't really have a lot of glitches. It kind of has one glitch that we really use. But yeah, it's still a heckin' fun time. So yeah, so timing will start. So because all of my save slots are filled, I have to basically pick a slot here. Once I select one of these slots, that's when time begins. And yeah, just basic game, just try to go as fast as you can. Do all the things you need to do and nothing more. And we shall begin in 3, 2, 1, speed. Alright, so unfortunately most of the actual like story of the game has kind of escaped my mind at this point because it's been so long since I've had to like actually look at the story. But yeah, so you'll see it's a pretty standard. Well, I don't know. I am not going for it today, so please forgive me. But yeah, so it's basically a platformer or 2D platformer RPG with a lot of dashing, and dashing does give you iframes. In addition to moving you just a little bit faster, it does have a cooldown that it works off of. I've never actually timed the cooldown as far as like actual seconds goes, but it does basically the cooldown lasts a certain amount of time you can dash again. One thing I have kind of narrowed down a little bit more is that there are some cases where if you do an attack and then dash immediately, you can kind of skip the cooldown entirely, kind of like I just did there, because then we have to wait about like a second or so for it to regen. But if you do attack an enemy and then instantaneously dash again, you can get a little bit extra speed that way. I'm still trying to find out where I can make like big use of that particular tech, but yeah, confirming that is a thing is in fact kind of cool. Lots of that guy to get some free XP. Because you can in fact Mario jump on enemies as well, which is a kind of cool thing to do for a lot of enemies. You can do that on the slimes here as well, but it makes them take a lot longer to actually like get defeated. And one thing that we do like to try to do at the start of a run is to keep out an eye for XP bubbles. Also, quick movement tech. If we dash right at the screen transition, dash there and then jump up here, we have just enough height to be able to make it before that platform goes too far down. Then we have to wait it out. But yeah, so one thing we do look for whenever we kill enemies is for an XP bubble, which has a pretty low % chance of dropping. I don't know what exactly it is. I'm going to guess like maybe 1 or 2% per enemy. But it gives you a chance to get basically a whole bunch of extra XP. And that's usually what I try to kill like a whole bunch of the easy killable enemies for. See if I get some of that early on. They're not strictly needed for the run per se, but it does make it a little safer to try to get to some of the XP values you need for level ups and upgrades. Because the stat system stat and level up system in this game is basically similar to Zelda 2 Link's Adventure from the NES, where you basically have to spend your level up points to upgrade. At the start of the game, you have access to attack, health, or magic. Health is pretty self-explanatory, gives you more max health. Attack, self-explanatory, gives you more max health. The magic upgrade basically makes your spells cost less mana, so that you don't have, so you can cast more, you basically use a spell more often with a single full bar. And also right now we're doing an arena, which is in some stages. Do a little quick kill there. I think that's actually the fastest that one's gone. That's kind of cool. Yeah, and also match the unnecessary text. Yeah, that was basically the tutorial stage where it kind of teaches you how the basic game works, stuff like that. It starts you off in the next town immediately. We have nothing to do there, so we just immediately leave by moving left. And now we start a series of, okay. And then another factor of Zelda 2 is that you get these quote-unquote random encounters that are the value, or the strength of which is determined by the type of icon that you see. You see like the little, actually I forget what the smaller enemy icon is, but you see like the big, kind of big burly icon. Okay, yeah, the big like red Ganon pig-looking one. That's the tougher variant of a boss fight. Also, we're stopping by this location to pick up one of our fast travel points we're going to be using pretty soon here, within like another minute or so. But yeah, the big red ones are usually like the harder random encounters. The blue bats are just kind of the more standard encounters. They don't really do too much outside of just cost you time, and they're not really too big. It's like maybe 20-30 second time loss every time when you come across those. But yeah, and avoiding them is kind of annoying sometimes, because sometimes they spawn like a billion at a time, which is kind of weird, but... So, first thing we do is we come up to the Tenebor village here. And we're going to be coming here to pick up a quest real quick. We'll be getting some stuff from the store on our second trip to town, but for now we just need to pick up a quest. This blacksmith does have a quest for you, but you don't need to talk to him in order to be able to complete the quest. We just kind of skip him. We talk to this fellow. And now we get the quest to be able to get the down thrust ability, which is going to be incredibly useful because it makes it a lot easier to damage like certain kind of lower to the ground enemies. Plus the ability does double damage. And also you can use fast travel to pretty much any point that leads to a location. We'll come here, talk to this person. And now we officially know how to downstab. Yeah, fast travel is once you visit an area, it becomes available on your map for fast traveling. Not exactly every location can be fast traveled to, like this upcoming path here that we're going to go to. This is not a fast travelable location because it's not really like a primary location is probably what I'm going to call it. But most locations can be fast traveled to, and it's just as simple as open up the map, select me fast travel, and then select the location. And that, for example, the downside there is just demolishing those mushrooms there. It also makes the slimes actually get destroyed immediately as well, which is super nice. So you don't have to wait for like the second for them to like squish and then it finally explode. Now, if you do happen to have an enemy that drops a XP bubble, you can get to it right away. Have to wait for this little air vent to push us upward. Now we're coming over here to pick up a key for an area we're going to be visiting after we get done with the first quote-unquote dungeon of the game. Pick this key up, get some extra money in the process. And yeah, there is also a bit of a money route in this game. It's not the most annoying to get to, as long as you, basically rule number one, don't die in this game, because dying, in addition to just costing you time generally, typically about like 30 seconds to a minute, depending on where you die, given where the checkpoint happens to lie. You also lose, I believe it's 15% of your money and then 10% of your experience. So in the early game, experience is definitely the part we want to watch out for. Well, not experience, but money is what we want to watch out for. You can need certain amounts when we get to the 2 shop segments in this game, where we actually go buy things. Yeah, there's a little gate here that we need to wait for. Basically right here. For the longest while, I could just run up to here directly and not miss this, but I don't know, maybe there's a recent update or maybe my movement changed or something, but now I can never make that on the first cycle, so it gives us some free time to get a couple of free quick enemy kills. So it's kind of nice for that, at least. And yeah, as you can also see, we also innately have the ability to double jump, which is, honestly, it's really nice to be able to have that as like a default feature rather than an earn feature. It just makes things just feel so much quicker. And also, every time you bounce off an enemy, you actually regain your double jump. So if I wanted to do that, yeah, I regain my double jump because I bounced off an enemy right there. And then certain enemies can only be bounced off of if you have the down stab ability. If they basically have like some kind of horn on top of their head, it won't let you jump on them kind of like those guys will. So you'd have to use the down stab to be able to get access to that. Yeah, regular down stabbing enemy also counts as that. Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about some areas where like I mentioned, if you attack an enemy, you can get an immediate dash out of that. I have thought of at least one area that could potentially be useful in. I just need to make sure I can actually get to that point and then kind of see just how it feels trying to use that as a strat. It's a section that wouldn't make it a lot faster per se, but it could make it a lot safer and easier. So there's a lot of like little flying skill heads that just kind of are typically there to annoy you. Over here, little strategic air dashing. Yeah, like I said, you do have invincibility when doing the dash as well, but you do need to be particularly careful about it, because sometimes an enemy hitbox could be just too big to be able to fully dash through. Or if you're just like off by like the slightest pixel, you might not be able to get the dash proper. That felt like a pretty decent split overall. Oh, wait. Okay, I forgot to split. I forgot to... Okay. Yay, for getting splits. Which I'm not gonna say it's like frequent, but it's not like unsurprising for me either. So I actually have no idea if that was actually a good split or not. That's unfortunate. Yeah, so one thing I still find amusing is that when I had these, when I made the submission run, or the submission video for the last event, I wound up getting a PB on that alone. So I'm kind of wondering if I can maybe make this into like a random, like tradition, so to speak, of PBing when I do these run submission videos. That's kind of the dream. Yeah, 0-0 good for a pass. Must be world record pace, exactly. And welcome in, Gecko. How you doing tonight? Oh, come on. How did I not bounce off you? Yeah, there are some runs where you just never see an XP bubble, or by the time you do see one, it's like too low value and kind of too late for it to be useful. But we're just hoping to see at least one of any value in the early game. Like I said, not strictly required. And then also another technique that we can use as well, it's only useful really in certain sections, but you can also do a little slide maneuver like that. A lot of enemies, if you slide into them, it deals like a minuscule amount of damage, but it also manages to like disable their collision for a bit, so you can actually like cleanly walk through them without having to worry about taking damage. Which is useful in certain sections against certain enemies. When we get to those points, I'll make sure to point them out. Yeah, doing okay? Just glad it's Friday tomorrow. It's been a long week. Oh, don't I know that one. I mean, technically this week hasn't been as crazy as last week was, but still. It's like, I'm just always ready for Friday, no matter what day of the week it is. Yeah, it could be like 11 p.m. on a Sunday, and I'll be like, okay, I'm already ready for the weekend. Hashtag just regular life things. Yeah, that's an example. You see the enemy flash like that? As long as they're flashing, their collision damage is disabled. Also, that guy's stinger can poison you, so you want to be careful around that guy. Oh. Okay, a lot of this game as well is kind of realizing when you're overextending yourself and about to fall into a pit, and then trying to keep yourself from not doing that. Because by far, the biggest thing you can do that would cause you a time loss is just straight up dying. Also, I kind of slowed down in this section. I don't think I'm going to make this cycle. If you move fast enough with that and we don't have any issues, you can actually make through that section in one cycle, but I kind of screwed that up. Also, I was supposed to level up my attack at the start of the stage. Come on. Yeah, because every time you level up, you gain one basic level up point, and it costs a variable amount of level up points to be able to increase a given stat based on what stat it is and what level it currently is. Attack is not the most expensive stat to increase, but it is definitely one of the pricier ones because of just how useful it is. I believe life is the cheapest to level up, And I think also has the most possibilities for level up as well. You can get yourself up to a max of, I believe, 20 hearts. Even though we only start with the 3 and there's no, like, environmental health ups. Yeah, you're still spending a lot of total points on it, but not a lot per level. And then magic is, I think, it's either magic or the 4th ability that we'll talk about later on that is the most expensive. But yeah, we only get magic at certain points. Also, these green guys are my favorite. Holy crap, I didn't know they could drop $200. Where's I can go? But yeah, those I call them just grenadiers. I forget what their official name is, but they're one of my favorite enemies in this game because they are so easy to take out and they give you so much experience. There's a lot of projectiles in this game you can just actually reflect right back at enemies, including their grenades. And especially if it's an explosive type damage, they just do so much damage to anything you come across. And then here we have an auto-scroller section where we just have to play the game at the game's pace. We just kind of chill and hang out otherwise. This would be one of the points in the run during the event where this would be a great time for donation reading as well. Oh, there's our XP bubble. I didn't really get a chance to see what it looked like, but it's basically just a number of XP with like a little circle around it. It's like a very kind of thin line. But yeah, one of the good things about these auto-scroller sections... Oh, well, we got a second one. Ooh, we got 2. Look at that, was a good one, too. So generally, the lowest XP bubble value you'll see is 30. In the early game, there'll be like either 30, 60, or 90. We had a 90 right there. The second dice. Time for auto-scrolling? No, 5. Exactly. And to be fair, the soundtrack is a heckin' banger for the entire game, too, which is also nice. Here, come here, money. I want the muns. But yeah, generally if the projectile is flashing in some way, that usually means it can be... Yeah, if the projectile is flashing, that usually means you can reflect it. Oh. Okay, so if you're careful enough, you can actually be able to destroy that little ghost thing before it goes off screen. But if you're not careful, you can actually get squished by the wall as it comes in and pushes off screen, so you do need to be careful with that. Great music? Heck friggin' yeah. Welcome in, Cameron. How you doing tonight? Wait, but you already said you were here, didn't you? I think? Yeah, you already said you're... Okay. Welcome to my brain on Thursdays. Ooh, okay, that was almost bad. Oh wow, that thing didn't jump out at me. That's unusual. Okay, we are ahead at least. You wonder if it's ever possible to blind move ahead just to reach the end of an auto-scroller? As far as I can tell, no. The game has a very hard limit on the screen when you do that. So I know in one of the later stages when you have the auto-scroller that goes like down vertically for a while, you are still in fact bound on the horizontal axis. And I think even if you just hang on like the left side of the screen, as long as nothing's like squishing you against the game screen, you basically just like you get pushed by the outer environment, I believe. Yeah, really cool game from both the gameplay and story perspective. Heck friggin' yeah. I just wish I had a better memory for like story aspects of games. It's like I can usually remember like the kind of broad details and aspects of things, but ask me to recall just like a certain particular line or a certain type of interaction, I'll usually not be able to really come up with anything. So here we go for this guy first. Take care of these guys. We get a free magic refill from that. You have to kill all the enemies in this room to be able to unlock the path to the next area. And you use pretty much your entire magic bar to kill both of those mummies. And we do that to try to make things a little more efficient going that way. Those little switches there are usually traps of some kind. They're very easily avoidable. Although if you do step on one, sometimes they can actually be kind of nasty. Oh, I didn't dash correctly there. This one actually creates a ladder here, so you can go up. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking we're different path. Oh god. Oh god, okay, I need to focus. Okay, we have a checkpoint here, so we're fine. Yeah, whenever you get to a checkpoint, it automatically recovers your HP or your health and magic as well. So this segment right here is probably the most practiced segment I ever have in this particular run, because there is one particular movement coming out that is kind of precise and took a lot of practice to be able to kind of narrow down just like how it even worked exactly. So starting from here, we jump down here, dash in the midair, bounce off that guy, dash across here, We can avoid the grenade hitting us. Also, if the grenade explosion hits us, it does 3 hearts of damage. Oh, freaking got poison. But yeah, the explosion does 3 hearts of damage to us. One thing to note, though, is that if you're at full health, an attack would normally... oh, God. Okay, still salvage it. Yeah, there wasn't quite the movement I wanted to do with that, but we were still able to make it work. Yeah, you do like a whole bunch of dashes and pogos off of the little demon enemies. I need to be careful so I don't die. Like, literally any hit I take is gonna kill me. Correct, you cannot get one shot from full HP. Which is a super nice kind of hidden mechanic, because the game never really tells you or shows you about that. But it is a mechanic that the game has, which is super nice. Palm sweaty. Mom spaghetti. Oh wow, another XP level. Getting kind of lucky with those. We have another arena section here, and the enemies, the order in which enemies spawn in the arenas are always the same, but which enemies, but where they spawn, oh god, where they spawn is randomized. Yeah, when you do the pogoing, you can also kind of brace yourself up against the ceiling and be able to do extra damage, because the pogo only does damage once you move downward. And being able to bounce off of the ceiling like that helps make you move downward faster and do more damage. And yeah, some of those trap switches, if you just keep walking, they have no chance of hitting you. Something like that one we just did right there. Yeah, there's kind of a lot of little tiny things that they don't do a lot on their own, but they definitely help make the run just kind of feel better or go slightly faster if you do them all right, stuff like that. Kind of one of the things I love about it is that it's relatively simple, but there's still enough complexity to make you pay attention to everything that's going on. In the early game, we do try to pick up pretty much as much money as we can, so we can guarantee we have enough by the time we get to the stop segments. And now we have our first boss. So the general strategy with this boss is you want to just keep attacking him as much as you can. When he starts rearing up to breathe out fire, you want to walk into the boss, because that gives you a half-heart of damage. Otherwise, the fire that he shoots out does a full heart of damage. So it basically takes you, or helps reduce the damage that you're taking. Oh. I did that a little early, but okay. Oh wow, you're delaying a bit. There, like that. And then the iframes you get actually last long enough to go through his entire fire breath. Yeah, otherwise, you just keep attacking like this. Oh god. If you're caught in the radius of his roar, he actually stuns you, which is not too hard to get out of. I think you can kind of button mash to get out of those, but the effectiveness of that has been inconsistent as far as I can tell. There we go. There's our first boss beat. It also only just now, as I attacked him while he was charging at me, realized I could just attack him, because when you attack an enemy, you do also get a tiny amount of iframes during that as well. Kind of similar to the slide, but not for nearly as longer duration. Okay, so once we get that dungeon beat, we fast travel up to the place where we got down stab. And we come up here toward a tower here. This is where we got the key for in the Gabora Pass stage. And this is where we're going to get access to bombs, which will become especially important to completing one of the quests I was talking about earlier, particularly for the blacksmith, where we basically need to save his wife from having been basically, I can't think of the proper term, but she's basically stuck in a cave-in that happened somehow. So we basically need help get her out of it. Yeah, pretty simple, just kind of moving here. These guys here, you can mostly ignore them. If they attack you, though, they will steal some of your money, so you want to be careful for that. I like to just get rid of that guy. Also, this guy is our main goal. Okay, so if he slashes you, that also does like 3 hearts of damage. Every time he tries to do the jump attack, though, you can actually attack him and have him kind of move more slowly through the air. And if you do it right, you can just keep him in the air for basically ever and just destroy him that way. But yeah, as long as you don't let him hit you with the sword, it's basically a free fight. And then so we picked up the bombs after beating the skeleton there. which is what we're going to be using to open up the cave here. We passed us by this earlier, but I didn't get a chance to... freaking random encounters. Yeah, random encounters are heckin' dumb. Sometimes they're okay to try to get some like extra XP, stuff like that, but usually they're not worth it. But yeah, as long as you have any bombs, you can just press basically the accept button when you're at the door, and boom, you just get right inside. Ooh, double kill there. Okay, there's another XP bubble, but we really don't need the XP bubble. We already have plenty. Down here, another specific movement here. You want to jump down here, immediately dash, 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 run off the ledge, dash, jump, dash, and then dash, jump, dash. If you don't do it in that particular motion, in that particular speed, you will in fact miss the cycle to be able to grab that. That is one of those where the timing is actually very key. And now remember that skeleton guy we just fought? We get to fight him as a boss again. Oh, okay, well there's an example of what happens if you would normally get one shot, but you're at full health. You get left with a single hit point left. There we go. And this is the guy's wife. We'll grab some of these for money as a bit of a safety. Then we save. Nope. Actually, no, there's the right one. Okay, so we save and we do not continue playing. So we go back to the title screen. Back into the file. And then this makes it so we don't have to actually like leave the cave manually. It's a much faster process. Yeah, that particular strat is actually thanks to Gecko in chat right now. They basically mentioned, you know, you can just save and quit out of there. And I'm just like, oh. It's like I literally never even thought of that as a concept. I don't know why I never thought of that either, but... So now we come into the shop here, and we go to pick up 2 boomerangs. Then we're going to immediately upgrade those boomerangs because they are very useful in a lot of sections once they're upgraded. Because in their base form, if they hit anything like attacking first, we get the reward. Now we get all these upgrades: extra damage, extra pouch, pierce, and pass through solids. Okay, that should be everything. So the upgrades that we got, the pierce allows the boomerang to go through enemies without being lost, and then the pass through solids allows it to go through like terrain without being lost. So now it just once we fire it, we basically can't lose it. And you can also actually catch the boomerang back, and you get your ammo refilled as well as a result, which is kind of a neat little idea. That would be particularly useful for at least one boss later on down the road. Oh, that was I barely saved that. Yeah, like I think I mentioned earlier, this game is all about trying to just figure out where you can do movement and actually have it be effective. Right now, there's no way to skip this particular waiting segment on this section. It's just too long. You can't make it in one trip. I am eagerly awaiting the day we find a way to like zip through the ceiling or something to get past that. Unfortunately, that tech has yet to exist. But one day. Come on. No gold split, sadly, but yeah, that was like I think that was like a really good gold split we had. We got that one. Then one little fun thing too is that when you're playing it with cutscenes off, you do get a little paragraph like what pops up there to kind of give you a basic idea of how the story's progressing. You can actually press the start button as soon as you leave an area before that pops up, but it doesn't really do anything functional or like you don't get to skip the text box at all. Just kind of delay it, but it's a nice little kind of fun thing I like to do, because why not? Yeah, whenever I get a chance to get the free XP off of the Grenadiers, I definitely take that chance. Even if I have to stop for like a quarter of a second to do the reflect, I usually try to do that. Because again, they're just worth so much freaking experience. Most enemies in this game give you like maybe up to 7 XP per kill. Those guys give you 25, and they are so easy. These red guys, those red guys, I would not give the time of day to. They are well, there's our first death. And overextended myself there. Okay, so it's 10% money, 15% experience that we lose. Okay. Oh, we got our XP back right away. That's kind of cool. We've had a lot of XP bubbles this run. Holy heck. Yeah, at least kind of one of the good things is that if you do happen to die like a few times, you're usually in the net plus for XP because of the way that the enemies work out here. Although the problem is we can't really say that for money, and that's kind of the more important thing in the first, like 40%-ish of the run, I want to say. But yeah, those red guys will do... The red guy's bullets will do a heart and a half of damage to you. That was actually a really good duck right there. But yeah, their bullets will do a heart and a half of damage to you. Yeah, and you can't level down? Yeah, that's definitely also a thing. Yeah, red guys, heard you talking trash, gonna mess with the platform timing. I mean, that guy always tries to. He's not always successful, but he likes to try to. And so this is a little piece of strat here I'm still trying to refine. You can actually kind of dash during the little segment here. Yeah, you can actually get yourself further onto the bridge than you're supposed to be. Although I have once actually been stuck inside the gate because I did that trick too well. So it is possible to soft lock yourself there, so I'm still trying to work out like the fine tuning of it. But you can do that to save at least a couple seconds of time if you do it right. I was not paying attention when I needed to jump. Yeah, starting this section, we're going to see like a bajillion more of these red and green guards. And again, the red guards are the ones that are annoying. The green guards, oh god. The green guards really aren't so bad, because again, we get a lot of easy XP from them. And also, every time you level up, you get your health fully replenished, which is super nice. I don't think that applies to magic, but you do get your health refilled every level up, which I've actually used that on a few times to basically save a level up point for healing as well. Because another thing you can do as a backup is that when you level up your health stat, it also comes with a free health recovery. But I try to avoid those as much as I can so I can make sure I have enough XP for the attack upgrades that we need by a certain point in the game. Also, always pick up the checkpoints. No matter how confident you feel in any section, pick up the checkpoint. I'm pretty sure that at least I've died at least once at every checkpoint that I've had in this entire game. Okay, I went the wrong path there. You're supposed to go above. I don't know why I went down there. Those rats can poison you. And yeah, poison slowly drains your health, just like being on fire does, which is something we'll see later on. Okay. And also, the reflected grenade attack does affect other enemies as well. If you happen to get other enemies in that explosion radius, they also take damage, which is super nice. Okay. Okay, this is actually a little scary. Again, we're at 1 health. Okay, we made it. Not quite out of the woods yet, but we're in a better position. Now, those things do 2 arcs of damage per bullet, so you want to be even more careful with them. Okay, we actually made that. Let's second go. Yeah, especially with how far... Yeah, for some reason, like, in, like, the first... We'll call it half of the game. I don't know if it's exact... Okay, so I forgot to do something there. So when you trigger those things, they basically cause, like, a large electronic shockwave through the water, which kills all the enemies on the screen, and would also do, like, a bajillion damage to you. But thankfully, since we're at full health, we still got left with 1 hit point. But yeah, you can use that to get some free extra experience as well. Okay, we got a consumable healing, but no current healing, so I need to be careful with my movement. Any attack will kill me right now. But yeah, the iframes from the dash work just as fine underwater as they do above water. You know what? I'm just gonna go. Okay. I should not have dashed at that last point there. That was on me. Yeah, we're still up a little bit of time, and apparently we did have at least 1 or 2 deaths in the last run for this, so we could still technically gain time here. Oh, damn it. Okay, the game didn't let me dash when I thought it was going to let me dash. That was the problem there. It can be kind of hard to judge how long you have until you can do the next dash, which is the... I wasn't dashing up, game. Also, I like how the swimming sound effect was still going on. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes you get into just like cycles like this where no matter what, you just can't really do the right thing for whatever reason. I'm just gonna try to be extra careful here for the rest of this stage. Yeah, 'cause I'm already breaking my #1 rule about just not dying. If you can avoid dying, that's like the biggest time saving you can do in this game, honestly. Although, at least in this section, it's not so bad because we're respawning basically right next to the checkpoint. But yeah. Certain rhythm, absolutely. And at least when you're walking, there is kind of a visual reference that I use. So it's whenever his... Yeah, so whenever his forward arm basically pulls back when he's walking is basically my visual indicator for when I can do the dash. There's not really a good visual indicator yet that I found for other regions. Also, we just wait for the lightning bolts here. I don't know if it's actually possible to make that or not. This guy we can just dash past, we keep dashing, we can just ignore he exists. Like that back at him. A lot of focused air movement there. The bullets from the blue guys only deal 1 heart, I think, of damage, so they're actually not as bad to get hit by. But general rule is you still want to avoid as many hits as possible. Get, I think, the cutscene here. Yep. The cutscene. It is possible to reflect this guy's first grenade. I haven't figured out the timing to make that consistent yet. Also, against these pair of enemies, you just set a bomb up, let them both blow up. Because those guys will chase you if you try to just like run past them. And having, especially the red gunner chase you, it is not a fun time. All right, so once we have this section, we do a level up on attack, and then 4 level ups on health. Because this is the first section in both my casual playthrough and in the speedrun, where I came across a lot of issues with surviving. Now, general rule is as long as you keep moving, you're usually pretty good to go, as far as like survivability. But if anything like stops you for like more than a short moment, you can kind of start paying for it. Yeah, you want to avoid those drop bombs as well, because they also do 3 hearts of damage. And yeah, just avoid all damage, especially bomb-related damage. Rockets also do 3 hearts of damage. I do also love how a well-timed dodge can actually help you ignore damage from the bullet that's coming behind you, too. Okay, this stage is actually going really well. Yeah, I think I was gonna get tricky price anyway. There we go. Alright, next boss time. For this boss, when he... I'll just show this, it's a little easier to show than explain. So he'll do a couple dashes, jump over here, throw a bomb right as he jumps there. Just dodge the bullets. He'll take a big bomb damage from that, 118 damage, and we just slice some bombs with our sword. Now we swap to our boomerang. Just keep attacking with the boomerang. More swords. Back to bombs. There we go. Okay, it's not gonna be a gold split, unfortunately, but that was a really good split, as far as I'm concerned. Let's I can go. Yeah, basically bombs when he jumps from the left toward the right, and then just boomerang him when he's hovering up above you. And you can mostly avoid like any and all damage as long as you like dash at the right time for a couple sections. Yes, the best elemental magic power. This will save so many runs. So this is the Wind 1 spell. This lets you basically get a lot of vertical height, which is used for a good number of things. Mostly, like I said, saving runs, but it can also be used to give you access to certain areas that you wouldn't normally have access to. That can help you basically either get through a path more fastly or more safely. Now we come around this way. We're gonna stop and get a fast travel for this castle, or this little tower thing real quick. We just enter and then leave. We're gonna be going back there momentarily, because we need a quest started before we can actually access it. Where are you going? There you go, okay. Across here, we start heading toward the next forest, and soon to be town. Then we're gonna keep the bomb equipped for now, because I don't think it's actually, I know, I guess it is possible for pit death. But we're just gonna be good at the game, and we're not gonna die by pit. I hereby proclaim we'll be good at the game. So, in order to progress through the game itself, you want to go down the ladder there, but we want to visit the town first. So we want to go over this way. Okay, I dashed you early there. Go over this way. Now we're in a little town here. We'll talk to the blacksmith to upgrade an item later, but for right now we're just going to come in here, talk to this guy. A lot of text. He gives us a key. He gave us the good coin flip. He didn't get it on our way this time. So that guy has like a 50-50 chance of either just walking to the right like he did there and being perfectly fine and normal, or walking to the left, stopping in front of the door, which prevents us from actually leaving the room until he walks away again, which costs a few seconds. That time, at least, he was friendly. We'll see if we get that same luck again for the second, for the re-entry. Yeah, you notice that there are some of the green grenadiers that have shields on them. The shield guys give more experience. They give, I think, 41 compared to 25, something like that. But sure, we'll take an XP level, but why not? Alright, so this is a fight I'm still trying to work on some, like, combat improvements for. So I'm going to try something here. I'm going to throw a bomb immediately, and then set a bomb here. We also want to reflect the grenades back as much as we can. Okay. So fire a couple more of those. There we go. Okay, apparently that strat does not work. So I guess what we'll... So as long as you reflect all of the grenades... Actually, I think we already had more than enough money. But yeah, as long as you reflect all the grenades and hit them with one bomb, you should only need like one bullet to be able to finish the boss off after the fact. So I kind of messed it up, but that's also because I'm still kind of experimenting with how to make it more efficient and guaranteed. Okay, now that we got that quest done, come back here. Let's go ahead and equip our wind spell now before I forget. And now we upgrade the gun. Ammo, stuff, ammo pouch, power increase. I guess we didn't need the extra ammo pouch there, but... Yeah, as long as you get the 2 damage upgrades for the gun, those could be the important things for an upcoming boss. It's actually not very often I have enough money to get the pouch as well. So I'm used to not really getting that anymore. I suppose we only died, like, what, twice this run so far? Yeah, usually if we die twice, I'm used to not being able to get that upgrade, so... Actually, I think it's probably because of that one, like, $200 or $500 upgrade that one random enemy gave us. That's probably what happened. Alright, so now you're about to see what the Wind 1 spell does. It does decent damage, but what you can use it for? Massive vertical movement. And actually, one thing I should get in the habit of doing is putting at least 1 point in magic. Also, there is money up here to grab for free, but we don't need any more money in the speedrun, so it's just there as a kind of fun little thing for a casual playthrough. It's like, hey, you can do this. Also, if that shockwave hits you, that also stuns you, and that club does a lot of damage. So you want to avoid those things as much as you possibly can as well. But yeah, at this point, we no longer need money, so we're not worried about, like, picking up any money or trying to, like, not die from that, stuff like that. Now we're just trying not to die for the sake of staying fast. And also, every teleporter that we see, if you access the teleporter in the very center of it, you just immediately start the teleportation animation. If you're a certain distance away from it, you actually do start kind of like cutscene walking up to the center of it and then teleporting. And the further you are away, the slower it is. So you want to try to be in the middle of that as much as you can. We use wind to be able to get past that section. So yeah, I got the magic spell up or magic upgrade earlier on just so we can have more uses of wind in case we have to use it a couple times for like safety purposes. Yeah, you notice in this area there's a lot of like upward gusting wind that'll kind of keep you aloft generally. I've never been confident enough to be able to rely on that, so I just do my normal thing. not quite the right... Oh, I forgot the split for up stab. Dang it. Yeah, if this run ends up PBing, we're going to have like 4 missed splits, and it's going to be kind of annoying. And also, one ability we have not quite touched on yet, and it's also the 4th ability you can actually level up with stats, is an ability called Father's Fury. What it does when you get the full... Oh, God. Okay, that was the section I was talking about earlier about trying to maybe see if I can make the attack dashes work to make that section easier. I can already tell it's just going to make that section harder. But yeah, we have a Father's Fury ability. It's the little charge gauge on the left side of the screen that's been kind of building throughout the game. Before... Okay, so the dungeon we just beat... Where we... I think that's where I got the wind spell. Yeah, the dungeon we just beat before this. Okay, so we can do this. Okay, that was a lot more risky than I thought it was going to be, but we made it. But yeah, the last dungeon we beat, basically, it gave us the full version of Father's Fury, which will let us be invincible when we use it. It doubles our attack power, and allows us to fly as well if you do a quote-unquote triple jump. It's a really cool ability, but it takes an awful lot of time to charge, so we kind of try to save it for like very specific sections of the game. Yeah, there's a couple sections where we'll be using it to make boss fights quicker, and one section, although I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in the routing, where we can basically advance past a normal enemy that is a pain in the rear end to try to just survive through. Okay, that's an example of a fast teleport right there. Right spot, so just start immediately. Yeah, there's several sections where having the extra damage and the invisibility together just make us like completely unstoppable. Yeah, here I do kind of rely on the wind because it actually does stay long enough to be able to help you. But I'm always keeping the wind spell equipped just in case of shenanigans. I can respond if I need to. Oh god, okay. Yeah, as much as the wind can help you, the wind can also be the biggest troll in the world as well. Okay, you know what? Vengeance. Was that slow? Yes. Was it worth it? Also yes. So yeah, if those big thwomp-like things actually manage to land on you, they do a full 3 hearts of damage, maybe 4 hearts, I forget how much. It is a lot of damage, you want to avoid that as much as possible. But in order to go through that section fast, you'd have to have a fairly well-timed jump, okay, to get underneath it. And coming up now is another auto-scroller. And again, I forgot to split at the right time. Oh well. But yeah, yay, auto-scroller. I forgot to pick up upstep. Oh my god. I don't know why, but lately I've had all the problems in trying to actually remember to pick up the upstep ability after I beat the tank boss. Thankfully, it's not strictly required for this stage, but we will need it eventually. Yeah, normally we could defeat that guy if we had upstab, but since we don't have that, we just have to kind of have to let him be. Yeah, this guy we can't get either. What's up, Stab? Not much. How about you? Oh, God. I forgot about the, oh, that's actually a good time for help. I forgot about the bomb that was right there. Yeah, these rockets you can reflect against these guys as well to one-shot them. The rockets that are fired out of, like, the terrain, little things like that, for some reason, those don't do anything to the shooters. You could go after that thing. It's not usually worth it. Oh, God. Yeah, you gotta be kind of careful when you move around this guy, so he'll keep kind of running away from you. Also, another time for doing an attack up. I'm really bad if I remember attack up for some reason. This guy we just want to avoid as much as possible. Because again, if any of the moving red guards basically become aware of you, they will charge you. And they will not let you go. There we go. But yeah, like I said, we mostly just do this for free XP, and this will be another good section for donation rating as well. Yeah, those cannonballs will do 2 hearts of damage to you, so you generally want to avoid those. You can reflect them, but it doesn't do anything with the cannons that fire them, so it's not really advantageous to try. Now we just come down here, wait for the screen to catch up with us. Yeah, once upon a time, doing that would actually kill you because you basically consider falling onto the death plane of the screen itself. But a while back, the dev actually changed it to where just as long as there's actual ground to begin with, you can just drop down and be perfectly fine. Which I think is a good addition. For these things, well, now wait. So right here, we just jump down here, and we have a good like 20 or so seconds to just kind of chill, watch the game do its thing. Well, actually, I did want to test something. Oh, dang it. Okay, yeah, we just stand here like normal. Yeah, we do have a little bit of a wind effect pushing against us as well, which is why we're moving a little bit slower. That's kind of indicated by the angle of the rain as well. If you have like a background like this, you're not affected by the rain, and also if you're ducking, you're also not affected by the wind, not the rain. But yeah, if you duck, you're also not affected by the wind either, so you can use that to keep yourself at a stable spot. There's another red guard that we don't want him to know about our existence in any way, shape, or form. We just kind of wait for him to turn around there, and now we're free. Because again, those red guys will chase you to the ends of the earth. And that is too annoying to deal with. Yeah, like I said, you can reflect these. Oh. Yeah, you can reflect these rockets, but they don't do anything to the thing down there, so everybody's just sad as a result. In fact, you can actually also attack it while it's still in the charger. You can actually get the thing to reflect through the floor, which I think is kind of funny. And we do want to get bombs ready for... Why are we out of bombs? Well, that's going to make things annoying. You know, I really should make a habit of checking for what the amount of bombs I have when I go to the shop. Because yeah, this is going to make this upcoming fight slower and more annoying. It's still a fairly easy fight, but it's a lot slower. Because part of the problem is that your sword does basically nothing to the turrets at the start. Yeah, there's going to be two turrets on either side that are going to come up and shoot various things at you. There's also the guy in the Dr. Wily mech suit. Yeah, these things just shoot out bullets. Dang it. There's one. Yeah, basically 2 explosions will take out the turrets. Okay, that's actually not what I intended to do, but it was perfect. Okay, so now we just use the safety of this section right here. Whenever those bombs drop, we do want to move away because they can still hit you with their explosion radius. But otherwise, you basically just hide under this middle platform here and just keep firing bullets at this guy. And he can basically never touch you. Unless he does stuff like that, which when you have to... Oh, so, yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, his bullets will never hit you. There we go. Yeah, that was not the best boss fight for that, but we made it work. And then some victory bullets, because I always forget to button mash during that section. I forgot the split again. Playing with fire, the run. I mean, literally our name is Flame, so we literally are fire. In every sense of the word. Now we get the ice power, which is literally only useful for one section, and that's because it's required to get through the section. Otherwise, actually no, it is useful for one of the sub-bosses we fight later on. Oh, right, thank you. I would have forgotten that otherwise. Yeah, okay, no, this is where we learn Father's Fury, the full power. So once we get to this, once we get this, once we get the full Father's Fury, then we get the invisibility and the flying, stuff like that. If we use that ability before... okay, here. If we use that ability before we get the full version, it gives you the double damage, but doesn't give you anything else. Okay, this guy was nice to us twice. He did not block the door. I will gladly take that. And Thanks for hanging out, Cameron. Hey, you have a good night. Okay, so now we fast travel over to City of Alto. This is actually the fastest way to get to where we need to go. The what? God. Like, these random encounters have just been hating me tonight. Oh, hold up. I can save this. I saved it. Let it be known that I'm in fact good at video games. But yeah, there was a point in time where there was like a little graveyard section up here. I would grab that as a fast travel point and use that. But it turns out that just starting from City of Alto is faster than trying to get that set up. How did I get... Okay, game. I believe you. Okay, just everything's being moving my way right now. I do not approve. Okay, you want to be a little more to the right there, because that block there will kind of block you. Pun not intended if you're not careful. Yeah, a bunch of little mini levels until we get to the next big stage. Okay. Yeah, the sooner we get that guy off the screen, the better. Then we don't have to worry about him, like, chasing us and being an annoying little SOB. You can reflect that grenade. It's very hard and it's not really worth it. That one you can definitely reflect and it's super easy and work. Okay, here we're going to change this ahead of time because we need the ice ability to basically take out a fire that's blocking our path. And this is the only time, as far as like movement goes, that we use this. Walk a little bit, pass, and then pick up the magic. I don't know why I opened up the full menu, but sure. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, of course you would walk that way, wouldn't you? Oh, okay. Well. Oh, that's actually a perfect time for a health pickup, too. It's also really nice to be able to get basically a full restock of bombs there as well. Yeah, I did kind of mention that earlier, but as far as just like area progression, that's the only time that ice is used. And then the ice can be used on the fire dragon boss, because sometimes we don't have really a good chance to get up to it for the real fast damage. And ice does do a decent amount of damage there. But yeah, those are literally the only instances in which we use the ice ability. How did I not get enough jump? Yeah, breaking the barrier with our magic powers. Now the lightning ability. What were they thinking about that one? Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I don't know if I've ever been able to like successfully use that as an like actual offensive ability. And even then, I think like the one section it's at least intended to be used for, which is like one of the little puzzle section in the game. I'm still never sure if I'm even using that as a puzzle piece correctly. There's one section where you're supposed to use lightning on like a certain statue based on like a kind of riddle that the game gives you. Every time I've used that, it's never actually like shown up results or anything. I kind of always assume I've just been using it wrong, but I just legit do not know. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is another one of the sections where in casual playthrough and when I was first doing the speedrun, that just absolutely wrecked me. And the fact that we had this split as our PB and our gold, and the fact that we had this as our gold split in our PB is kind of annoying, to be honest. That means we're pretty much always going to lose time in the split. Also, you can just dash right through the car. Oh, God. Oh, God. What is happening? You also can technically use the car as a damage boost forward, because I think somebody's getting hit by the car only does like half a heart. Which I don't understand, but that's something I really should start trying to actually implement in the run. I think that's me more when I feel more confident in like the damage I'm taking and stuff like that. Which I'm not quite at that comfort level yet. Welcome back, Ultrix. How was the stream with friend going? Up there, go up here. One thing I find amusing that for like most of this area, you can trigger the alarm segment to spawn more enemies. They almost never do anything like actually threatening to you. And there's even one section I feel. Okay, so here. Oh. Okay, so get rid of some of the bombs here. Come on. There we go. Yeah, those bombs are way too dangerous to be left alone as they are. Well, I guess we're not getting your experience. Which honestly is fine because we don't need it. We already have like a whole bunch of extra speed bubbles. Had to dip out for the night. So hopefully still, yeah. I was gonna say hopefully it all went well, but then you literally just said that in the first part of your sentence. I can read. Also, yeah, timely level ups are very timely and very much appreciated. I was trying to jump their game. But now we have conveyor belts to worry about. In some cases, you can use them to try to get a little more speed, but for the most part, the conveyor belts are kind of going in the opposite direction we want to go. They're not going to be particularly helpful in that sense. But yeah, they can't be nice in the right position. Also, you can dash through these guys with the little detector rays, but if they detect you, they will, in fact, like these red guys, chase you to the ends of the earth. And it is not recommended. Pick up this health for safety. Oh, come on. Also, what are those bullets? Why do they try to let exponential speed? Magic. Legit though, I have no idea why they're set up that way. Especially when like the bullets have like variable speed. That's the part that kind of gets me most of the time. You live this time. I forgot I could slide under those. That'll make that a lot easier, actually. Okay, we're actually having a pretty good split overall here, I'd say, so far. Yeah, the left path there, once you get the key, accesses the submachine gun, which I don't think we ever really need, because I think it does the same type of damage as the regular gun, which is already kind of just good enough as it is. And anything else that would be vulnerable to it is basically like not really viable after this section anyway, so we do have another section right here I like to use. So, bomb, bomb. That way we get rid of the big machine gunner, and all of his bullets do double damage. Also, that's the key that you need to use to get to the submachine gun. Oh god, okay. I pressed completely the wrong button there. Yeah, little quick movement section here. We can skip the entire section below there. Little low on health, so I need to be a little more cautious here. I say as I dash right into a grenade that could literally kill me immediately. Okay, this guy. So this is the section. Okay, apparently doing the dash actually gets rid of the fly effect. Yeah, that guy is normally a real big pain to try to be able to get past without like taking damage or going slow, stuff like that. So I've been using the Father's Fury ability to just get past it. But I know there was like a boss at some point that we were using the Father's Fury to do extra damage with as well. I'm kind of wondering if the trade-off is actually that worth it. But yeah, for right now at least, I like the simplicity of making that easier. So I'm kind of saying, how did I dodge that? Oh, come on. Usually you can bounce off the middle of his head and avoid most of the bullets at that point, but sometimes it doesn't work for whatever reason. Yeah, you can kind of skip him with like the right movement here. It's not always the simplest way to do it. Oh, that's actually perfect. Because that guy walked the other direction, we don't need to worry about him chasing us, so we're actually free to go here. That is not... I don't know if I've even seen that before, actually. That might be a hashtag never seen before, or never happened before moment. I shall do so after the next boss. Also, as long as we have more than 1 heart of health, we can just zip by those things without worrying about dying. If you have 1 heart of health or less, then you have to wait for the cycle. But otherwise, you can just slide right through and damage boost. Technically, that guy could be a pain, but he's off the screen fast enough that he's really not a threat. Thank you. Okay, how do I not have enough, Oh my god, please. Usually I pick up an ammo, like, accidentally for the gun before that point. Now, that's never happened before. Usually I, like, always have ammo for the gun at that point. Now here I get some free XP, because why not? I almost died there, because I almost couldn't hit my button. Little Dirk with a gun. What'd he do? So for whatever reason, these 5 blocks always spawn these particular sets of items. And I do like to get at least the one that lets you basically take out or cure the on fire condition as a kind of a just in case for one of the future levels. But yeah, we are now at the boss here. So this guy, the opener is always the same for him. We walk a bit, jump, dash, and a bunch of down stabs. Down stab, down stab, down stab, down stab. And we rhythmically fire the grenades back to him. Then 2 down stabs, dash, attack. We'll dash through, dash. And at this point, he has one of, I think, 4 weapons he can swap to randomly. In this case, he swapped to, I believe, the shotgun. Generally, the only thing that really changes our strategy is if he switches to his bomb thrower. If he switches to that, then you need to actually be careful, because those things can do a lot of damage to you, because they're just regular bombs. But if you reflect them back, they also do a lot of damage to him, so it's kind of a plus and minus situation. Okay, shotgun again. I can't quite get up there. Oh, then of course you put a health thing up there. There we go. Oh, cool. The health potion fell down. Perfect. That's right. Get discounted Waluigi. I'm not sure who that's more of an insult to, Waluigi or Mechos. Alright, so for this section, we walk to the left a little bit, wait for him to throw bombs. And when he throws the first couple bombs, you want to kind of tap left as you're moving as well. You want to try to reflect every grenade that you can back at it. Doing pretty good so far. Oh god. Okay, I forgot about that last wave of okay, and yeah, in some of these boss fights, there will be points where they kind of automatically spawn health potions, which is super nice. And also, once we get to this point, we can actually just, like, Mario stop him to death, which is one of my favorite strats to do. Okay, so now we travel back to the town here. Yeah, show that in tandem with some good boomerang throws, you could get past them faster. Oh, bye. Now we have like a relatively low stakes just crossing the bridge scene here. A nice change of pace from the absolute like disaster piece that that stage can be. Also get back to this before I forget. Now we enter the forest down here. So this is a forest where you need to find the right exit in order to be able to properly exit to the other side of the forest. It's kind of like a little mystery path that way. You want to go down, basically the trick is, any path that has a single torch is going to be the correct path. So there's a single torch leading that way. Do a section like this again. Single torch. past this guy. Now this section looks like it has a single torch, but if you go down the ladder though, you'll find another pair of torches. So that's gonna be the wrong way. You just keep going this way. There's a single torch in this path. We keep going, then a single torch again. Now we're at the other side of the forest. Keep that section in mind for later on. And about how you need to go like a specific path and a specific exit to lead to the other side. I'll elaborate on that when we get back to that point later, but just remember that area for now. Hang on, come on. I enjoy the bouncing off that guy way too much. It is possible to go too fast and actually get crushed by this thing when trying to go through it, so you always want to wait for the cycle. I've also actually been crushed by that thing as it's opening up too, so there's something weird about the way the hitbox collision works sometimes. It's easy to avoid as long as you don't just like push too far, but it's still an interesting thing to consider. Yeah, this second we're just trying to just advance as fast as we can amongst all the enemies in the kind of tight corridors. Trigger that guy. Come on. Yeah, if you need to pick up health, you can pick up that health down there, but thankfully we don't need that right now. Wait, why did that guy take damage? Normally with those skeleton guys, if you attack them with like a down stab or like a Mario jump, they just like crumble immediately. That guy didn't do that. There's only one other enemy I thought that actually functioned that way. Doesn't affect the run, but it's still interesting to note. Yeah, there's a few ways you can handle that particular section. That way wasn't planned the way I did that, but it worked out pretty much perfectly. I'll take that. Ow. Another section here that we cannot travel through all of in one sitting. Sometimes you can get over to this little alcove there, but yeah, it generally requires at least one grip either way. So as long as you're not hidden by the edge of that spike thing as it's going down, you only take like half heart of damage. If you get actually squished by a proper, then you take like 5 hearts of damage, so you do want to be kind of careful with that. That was almost a gold split, wow. It's been a long time since I've had an almost gold split on that one. Then yeah, so there's a lot of lore that happens between leaving the Soulwell and becoming to this area, because this is basically an entirely changed world state at this point. And I forget the details of such things. Like I said, hopefully I have somebody who can help me with the lore aspects of the run later on. But yeah, a lot of stuff has changed in the world. And also just like claims knowledge of things and his role in just life, the universe, and everything, basically. Yeah, the final sections of your Skong playthrough are presuming are upon you. Heck yeah. Are you planning on trying to get like all the endings or like the true ending or something like that? I'm assuming at least a true ending, but are you the type that would actually go for like just all the endings as well? Or are you just focusing on the true ending? That's kind of about it. True ending, yeah, I kind of figured that much. Yeah, 'cause I think what the original Hollow Knight had like what 6 or so endings, something like that. I actually don't really. Oh god. Like I said, this is why you always have wind equipped. Because if you ever like miss a jump, you can usually save it with that. You're locked to one crest, so you can't get all the endings. Would that be something you could replicate with a new playthrough quickly, or would that require like essentially a full playthrough to get back? Because it's like I understand for like lore and setting wise why you can be locked out of certain endings based on certain choices, stuff like that. It's not something you do in your streams. I kind of figured that much, but is it worth like doing in your off time? Is kind of I guess what I'm trying to get at. Oh god, that's a lot of guys chasing me. Yeah, I know there are some games I play where they have like multiple endings, and I would like to see all the endings. Oh, that was the worst set of Oh no, you son! There was literally nothing I could have done. avoid the club guys as much as possible. Ooh, health. Heck yeah. Or should I say, health yeah. You've already done it, and it's definitely one of them. I both do and don't have an idea what you mean by that. Also, this is the last area that gave me the biggest problem in my casual and speedrun playthrough. In fact, I think I actually came close to like kind of rage quitting at this section of my casual playthrough, because this section is just, it is a massive increase in difficulty. How was that? I heard something loud enough to actually like go over my headphones. Not allowed to go over my headphones. It's nothing serious. But yeah, one of the things we'll start to be worrying about here is basically these big lava plumes that will come out of the little lava pit down here. And we're trying to get past them as quickly as we can. Yeah, like that. That one spawned right there. We moved fast enough when that one wasn't an issue. We will be dealing with more of those that will block us our path, but we can kind of bypass some of them. Also, this is another section where we level up our attack. Because those are little flying bat enemies. Without the attack up, we would not be able to one-shot them. But with that attack up, we can actually do so. And it does become very nice in certain sections. Because one of the issues with this section is that almost every enemy in this region can set you on fire. And when I say can set you on fire, I mean will set you on fire. I swear, the chance of it getting set on fire is probably a little too high, personally, in my opinion. Basically, there's an SCP level cataclysmic parasite, sounded vaguely like glass. Yeah, I couldn't tell like what kind of sound it was. I just could tell it was loud. Oh, there's our... Okay, so if you fall into the lava pit at the bottom, there's like a 95% chance you get set on fire. Oh, God. And yeah, lava does this... being on fire does the same thing as being... Oh, there's our first... Okay, there's our first death. Or, there's our first death for this region. Your face when the fireplace says fire is a debug. Yeah, at least at this part of the game, the dev is a lot more giving about checkpoints. So typically, you don't lose as much time as you would have in the earlier sections of the game. Yeah, it sounds like you need to defog your keyboard. You know, so a little kind of tiny trick like that is if you do a dash right at the very tip of like a block ceiling, stuff like that, you can actually break all the blocks in that particular region, which is kind of cool. Okay, there you go, debuff. Okay, that made more sense. For some reason, I said my brain kept trying to read that as debug, even though that doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, anything we can do to bypass the big lava plumes we can do. Sometimes you have just enough space you can do a dash above it and get past. Sometimes you just have to wait it out. Oh my god. Yeah, and like I said, everything sets you on fire here. And one thing I wish the checkpoints did is that I wish they would get rid of status elements as well, but all they do is recover your HP and MP, and that's it. Oh, come on, that was downstabbing. Well, at least one plus side is that once you get set on fire once, you can't be set on fire again. Which, granted, you still want to avoid damage as much as possible, but it technically becomes one less concern. And also, the little fireball things that pop out of there, you actually can destroy those. Yeah, they're basic enemies that take like one slice to kill and give you like 10 experience. So they're not really bad in that sense. But I still find it weird that you can do that in the first place. I always hit that block though, just in case I get like a free health recovery. Because with very certain exceptions, all of these blocks give like some kind of random benefit. Yeah, so that one we actually can skip past with the right set of jumps, which is nice. Oh god. Oh god, that thing almost killed me on its own. You know what? We are doing actually no, we don't need a safety level up. We can use a potion. Yeah, I do try to keep potions as much as possible so I can use them in the case of needing to do a safety thing there. We can also use level up points to do that as well and gain a little bit extra health. But I try to avoid that so I can try to keep enough level up points to get the attack when I need it. Oh, that was That was kind of lucky movement, actually, not gonna lie. The thumb is too wide for the phone keyboard. Oh, I know that feeling. I don't exactly have, like, big hands or anything, but some phones are just so heckin' tiny. And they have, like, no... Well, not so much the phones, but, like, the screens or the buttons on the screens are just so tiny for whatever reason. Oh, my God, I saved that. I had no business saving that, but I'm so glad I did. Yeah, I want to try to avoid getting poisoned as well. Oh, I'm actually out of magic. Okay, I'm lucky I still dodged that naturally. Magic, thank you. Oh, dang it. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, this is another section we gold split on as well in our PB, which makes the future PBs even more, like, hard. Yeah, this one, as far as I can tell, you just straight up cannot... Oh, God. How have I not been set on fire at this point? Oh, dang it. Oh, come on. I forgot that fire plume would exist there. So this is one of the few sections where there's like a mini boss coming up that there's not a save point immediately before. So if you die like at the boss or before the boss, you have to redo everything. Which, as you can imagine, gets kind of annoying after a while. Okay, I like how walking into it without taking damage from it set me on fire. You know what? We are using a Born Ointment. Get rid of that. And so this is the section I would normally try to save the Father's Fury ability for. If I can get more damage when I do this little trick here. Actually, no, we have enough extra points, I think. I feel more than fine actually spending level points on this guy. Nice! I've not had that fight go that well in so long. Yes, I can go. Also, I need to do the hydrant earlier. Speedy hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate from earlier. Anytime? Canada, because you're on business travel there. They have ketchup chips, like, year-round, and I am so heckin' jealous of them. That's my opinion on Canada. Welcome on in, Riv. How you doing tonight? Yeah, for Skull, you just need to finish up the remaining things in Act 2 so you can enter Act 3 and begin chipping away to 100% and the true ending. Heck yeah. And all that with the crests that you suck with. Wait, the crests are the ones that are basically like this kind of skill trees or weapon tiers in that game, right? Okay, so this is a side section that isn't strictly required to beat the game, but it unlocks an ability that makes the rest of the game... I still got set on fire, dang it. I don't have any more Born Ointments either. Okay, can I get a random... No, I'm already on fire. I can't get any more on fire. Yeah, I want to see if I can maybe get like another Burn Ointment or something. Okay, no more Burn Ointments. But now that I'm not on fire... Recover health there. Oh god, I was not prepared. You know what? Yeah, so unfortunately, the pogo strat isn't as useful here. Also, we can actually do an attack up. The pogo strat isn't as useful here because we don't have the ceiling to make basically a quick return, or basically make it proc faster. So which kind of just left. Oh god. We're kind of mostly just left doing the intended combat strategy, which is, you know, intended strategy is boring, but in a way, as long as it works, that's kind of the important bit. Make Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo proud. I will do my best. My best is not that good so far. Oh, I got lucky with not getting that fire there. But yeah, this was the boss I was talking about earlier, where I was usually trying to save the Father's Fury for this guy, but I could kind of mitigate the fact that I don't have the roof against me. Do more damage, but... Yeah, unfortunately we just have to fight this boss as intended. And our magic does slowly replenish on its own, but it's usually not fast enough to have any like actual meaningful impact, especially during the boss fight. There we go. Not the fastest, but also pretty... Yes, now we got that. Nope, we save and do not continue playing, so we can exit the cave quickly again. You feel that it's accurate enough to invoke the phrase, "You ammo very Timja." Exactly. I'll swap back to this. Okay, I can still make it through with a damage boost. That's actually good to know. I've never actually tried that before. Yeah, because those level boosts do come with like a large knockback effect as well. But I guess if you already are doing or have iframes, it doesn't really matter at that point. Oh god. Health. Also, burn rate went, heck yeah. Oh, always take free burn ornaments. At least as long as I have fire stage left to go, I'll take them. And now we should be at the boss. Now we swap to the boomerang, which will be the last time we use these. We have not been good about picking up ammo recovery this run. I'm gonna have full boomerangs for this fight. So yeah, our strat is mostly just kind of throwing boomerangs at him, letting the damage stack take place and do a whole bunch of damage. Yeah, when he's fading into like the little kind of big fireball thing right there, he does still have a hitbox. Oh god, you know what? I don't want to deal with that quite yet. Okay, now we're at the halfway point, so he destroys the bridges here. Otherwise, he mostly keeps the same attacks, but now just a little more dangerous to try to like push our luck. Got him. Yeah, we lost a decent bit of time with that split, unfortunately. But we made fairly good work with the boss at least, so I'll take that. And now we go back to fast travel at the tower we stopped at earlier. That is literally all we use this fortress for, is just fast travel. It's actually a really perfect hub point between the three areas we need to visit at this stage in the game. Down here. We used to go around the other side of the little lake there because it was safer from the random encounters, but I've recently found out it's actually not nearly as scary to go that route, honestly. We are now very close to being able to max out our attack power, which is going to be heckin' nice. There's a chance we could do it now, given the XP levels that we've gotten, but I'm gonna wait until the time that we would normally get access to it, just as a kind of precaution. Also, those projectiles also do a whole lot of damage. Oh, actually, hold on. I'm trying to get used to going up here as a little safety route as opposed to going through the section with the little swamp-like enemies. Also, I keep forgetting I need fire. This is like the one section that requires fire for progression. So we use it for damage for a lot of the early game. We use it for progression there, and then we forget we ever even had fire in the first place. But yeah, those little purple orbs that those particular mages throw, those do a lot of damage. We'll be trying to use those to, in one of the upcoming arenas, to do more damage to a different enemy, to make it a little more reasonable. Come on. Okay, even if I don't move, even if I just dash, it can reset there. That's another weird little glitch that I keep forgetting to bring up to the dev. It's not like a big thing, it just loses like half a second at a time, but it's one of those things where it's kind of jarring and affects like everything constantly. Well, not everything. It's like that movement, like reset there, happens every single time, so it is absolutely consistent. Now, I don't know if a casual player would normally notice that, because I don't think most... Oh, God. Yes, there are these pans that can just kind of grab you. Also, that water can poison you if you get unlucky with the sand roll or whatever. You'd want to be careful with that as well. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in this stage. Like, not like major on their own, but they all just kind of combine into like a big thing. Like these zombies, do not stay near the zombies as much as you can, because they will scream at you, and if they scream at you, they will stun you, and you cannot break out of it fast enough before they latch onto you and they grapple you and hold you in place for a few seconds while doing a bunch of damage. They are literally the worst enemy in the game. And also that particular enemy right there with the purple skull projectile, that can cause a status element called Confuse. Well, actually, it's technically Curse. But yeah, they can cause a Curse status, which reverses your left and right and up and down controls. So if you can avoid it, by any cost, do so. Because it is not fun to deal with, under any circumstance. Yep, just like that. And now I'm having to press up and dash in order to do the slide, which is not intuitive in any way, shape, or form. Especially because this is also right where the arena is, too, that I was talking about earlier. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's been the best way I've found to actually deal with the curse guy. Is just to throw boomerangs at him until he stops being a thing. Because we want to keep this guy alive, we can use his reflection on... Oh, he's... You know what? I think we can still make this work. He's too far away to get us with the... Yeah, we can just do this. It takes, I think, 3 reflections, yeah, to defeat him. Then we do the boomerang trick on this guy. There we go. I don't think I really need boomerangs anymore, so we should be fine without picking that up, but yeah. And yeah, they do function pretty much exactly like redeads from Ocarina of Time. They're annoying as hell because of it. Okay, I didn't think I was going to be safe by just landing normally, so I tried to do the wind spell. Thankfully, it didn't do it. Friend? Yeah, you and you coerced the nefarious little goblin wizard into killing his buddies. Yeah. I feel like that image, the image for that has to be of like the little girl just like smiling smugly at the camera while like the house in the background on fire. I feel like that has the perfect energy for that particular statement. And also those green mages, their wind ability will actually knock you back, and it functions as a proper wall. And it functions as a floor so you can get on top of it. I didn't realize I could stun them that way. That's cool to know. Will you stop chasing me? Some people just... That did a lot less damage than I expected. Even with... Oh yeah, I don't think I ever actually described what we got earlier. So when we fought the big lava snake thing the second time, that gave us basically an upgrade that makes all attacks against us do half damage. Which is kind of why we have that little white silhouette around our hearts now. It's basically like a little protective shield. So we're taking half damage from everything, which makes everything so much easier to deal with as far as damage goes. The only time we'll have to worry about damage for the rest of the run is basically once we get to the final bosses. And like I said, no matter how comfortable you are with a section, always get the checkpoint. I've still had sections within like the past couple months where I've died in this segment. So it is not worth to skip it. Friend? Friends! Let's play the run away from the friends game. I'm having so much fun running away from my friends. Friends. Yeah, we're very popular. Yeah, it's not worth trying to get the XP from that guy. Yeah, Meridian would be having absolutely none of this. I do not know which Meridian we're speaking of. Also, I love how we get an XP bubble for beating that section, and then we get a whole bunch more XP for actually beating the level, like, immediately afterward. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, now that we have those experience points, we should have more than enough level up points to be able to max out our attack. I was thinking it was Elder Scrolls Meridian, but I wasn't 100% sure. Oh, we had plenty of level points before that. Wow. I know my favorite meme when it comes to the beacon is one of like, it's a pair of like underwear. It's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be like sexy underwear, stuff like that. And on the butt portion it says, "Another hand touches the beacon." It's like, if I wore like themed things like that for like underwear, I would totally get that, just for the lulz. It's like, there's no way you could do that meme any more justice. Alright, so here we technically have a little puzzle section, which you'll only ever really know if you pay enough attention to like some of the side, like a very specific piece of side lore, and you can count like the number of paintings in the room. I've been meaning to figure out if it's actually faster to take the wrong path than go the right path. I keep forgetting to do the comparison. Don't give you that mental image. Too late. It has been done. Ow. That may or may not have been deserved. Another section that we cannot skip no matter what we try to do. I think the dev put that little enemy there just to give you something to worry about when you're in that middle section. But yeah, it's like not really effective. Yeah, you can kind of use that lightning bolt attack to get a little bit of a damage boost, because it does give you more of a knockback forward than most other attacks. But it's pretty minute, as you can see. Come on. So stairs are annoying in this game. If you get caught on them in like just the wrong way, you can basically just lose all your momentum and have a hell of a time trying to get it back. Okay, that could have gone worse. Oh. Getting a little safe there. I've already died enough this run. And now we're at the boss. Well, after another set of boss staircases. Yeah, especially when you get caught like in between the screen transitions like that. That's like the most annoying thing with the stairs. And also, one thing I can mention as well is when you level up your stats, there is a maximum value you can level them all up to. When you hit the maximum value of any given stat, you get like a special bonus with them. I think the magic one lets you recover magic faster passively. Health gives you a quarter damage reduction, and that's based off your base damage. So it's stacked with the half damage to basically another half, basically. Okay, let me focus on this real quick. Okay, could have done more damage there. Hey, bombs. Oh my god, I got it! I got the quick kill. That's the first time I've ever managed to be able to do that. So, normally if his health gets below a certain threshold, he'll interrupt his attacks and do basically a phase change and go to like he'll darken the entire screen, make it hard to see. This is the first time I've ever been able to actually get that quick kill to work. Let's actually go. Gold split, let's go! Okay. I've always known it was theoretically possible. That's the first time I've ever gotten. I am so happy I got that. Let's heckin' go. Yeah, celebratory boxing. And celebratory sippies when I get the chance to. It'll probably be after I take care of the next boss. We'll have at least a little bit of time to do some sippies with the victory fanfare and whatnot. And also the breaking of the seal. Okay, we have our Father's Fury fill up again. Yeah, you want to be very careful around those particular flying imps because they will freeze you if you make contact with them at like 100% chance. And if you do that over pretty much anywhere that they exist, you will fall into a pit and you will die. But yeah, be very careful with those. Also, yeah, if you like stomp on those slimes, they tend to break open in like those spikes that freeze you as well. If you slide into them, they don't do that. You use that to get some kind of quick XP if you feel like it's really necessary. Let's cover more than gold splits and I'll be back on pace. Yeah, unfortunately So, I'm actually not sure how much time I saved in that split by doing that. I'm sure it was a decent amount of time, but yeah, I think we need more splits in order to be able to make that effective ratio of time saved to split work. Another section where you want to be very careful, because those guys will wreck your day. And welcome on in, Vexel. How you doing tonight? Yeah, just dodge that guy. You can go up and attack him and defeat him. He's really not worth the experience. You're very happy? Yay, being happy. About what are we being happy? Share the good news. Yeah, you're gonna head out now. You'll probably chat and wish me good luck later, but gonna do that now anyways. Have a good night, College X. You got new emotes? Heck yeah! It's always fun to get new emotes. Actually, just recently found out I have apparently another bit emote slot available. I have no idea what I want to do for that emote slot yet. But yeah, I have it available, and I'm assuming I'm only gonna be the one who ever uses it, because it's like the 250. Oh no, it's like the 20. Oh god. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was completely a me not paying attention thing. But yeah, so I think I have like a 25,000 bit slot available, which I'm not expecting anybody to ever like reach. That's like $250 freaking dollars. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna find some like particularly silly mode that like only I would like really appreciate. Probably just have it set for that. But yeah, the fact that I do have another emote slot does at least give me the ability to think about ideas, which is nice. So this one was supposed to happen. Supposed to do all that. Do this. There you go. Dash, 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 win, dash. Yeah, checkpoint. Yeah, good look for this run. I got this. I believe. I don't know what I'm believing in, but I believe. Yeah, a little bit of a, not really a sequence break, but you can kind of get through that section a little bit faster by kind of bypassing the platform a little bit. Yeah, taking that a little safer because, again, I don't want to keep dying. Oh, come on. Okay, thankfully being attacked when you're frozen does undo the frozen condition, which is nice, but it's better not to get that condition in the first place. Oh, rip that Yeti. F's in chat for Yeti. Ow. Come on, I'm trying to respect your friend here. Don't be mean to me. Also, this is the one screen in the entire game where the wind goes in your favor, and it's already over. They don't give you the chance to properly, like, enjoy or make use of it, which kind of makes me sad. Edward? What? What? Mortal, Okay, I think this situation is appropriate for me to say, holy shit, thank you very much. The 25... Okay, now I definitely have to get a emote slot, or that slot filled for... Yeah, I am 1,000,000,000% broken indeed. I am borked as borked can be. I'm so borked, I'm barking. Oh my god, thank you for the 25,000 freaking... That is money! Oh my god! Thank you so... I cannot say thank you enough. Just, oh my god, thank you. Just, how to make a cat bark in one easy step. Warning, this step is not cheap. Oh my god, just thank you once again. Oh my god, I never would have imagined anything like that happening. Just, oh my freaking lord. Okay, I thought I could do that safely, but apparently not. Oh, okay. Okay, thankfully I expected every single one of those shenanigans. Why am I still getting... Nope, there's my death. Okay. I'm still in disbelief at that. I'm like... I feel like I'm like seeing an illusion right now by just looking at what just happened there. Oh my god. And also, welcome on in, Immortal. How you doing tonight? Oh god. Might be getting sick, actually. I would advise against that. Being sick is not good for your health. Not sure if you're aware of that, but I figured you probably know. Hey, look at me. I didn't die this time. Got a phlegmy cough? Oh, yeah, I know that kind of sick. Honestly, I'm kind of overdue for getting sick myself. Like, based on my usual pattern for when I get sick, I should have been sick back in, like, September or October, something like that. I've been perfectly fine for a long while now. Okay, so this is another section that I can try to use. But yeah, and the problem is it really doesn't last long to do anything like substantial. It's part of the problem. Actually, oh god, okay. Normally I do like an up stab from right beneath her. Ooh, that was actually a good sequence of up stab or down stabs. Yeah, this is like the best strategy I've been able to come up for this boss so far, just do all this pogoing. And it's not the most consistent. And then you freaking juke me. And then I missed a down stab. Oh my god, please. And this is also one of those enemies where, like, if you reflect the projectile, it actually doesn't do anything, like, really viable, which is really annoying. There we go. makes sick, not good for health. It's an important note for life, the universe, and everything. Yeah. Alright, so now that we got all three of those things beat up, we head back to the new town, and we face our brother in Mortal Kombat. It's a lot of story stuff that goes into this. And then one interesting thing I've noticed as well is that if you do a pair of down stabs onto Ash's name, it kind of like resets the cycle that he's on, usually. It kind of like resets it, which I don't know if it's actually... Oh, it's on fire. Oh god, I should get help. But yeah, I don't really know a good way to make that viable as a strat, because he moves so fast on everything anyway. So the dark spell, yeah, the dark spells that he does there actually do a lot of damage. You do want to be careful for that. Yeah, you can technically reflect those back against him, but it's like really awkward to try to do so the way that he throws everything. Yeah, the blue potion I just consumed there, not only does it recover all of your HP and MP, it also, actually, oh. Okay, so that does 4 hearts of damage with half damage. Good to know. In fact, we can actually do this. Okay, we should be fine now. There we go. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Hey, you know what? You want fish? I can type. There's your fish. Oh god, I forgot there's no crystal here. I'm losing time. Ah. Also, I'm not actually focusing on the game because I did the chat thing. Okay, fast travel. So now for the one glitch that's in the game that we actually use. So we come up here. So this is a forest, so you had to go a specific path in order to get out of the area quickly. If you enter from here, and then immediately leave, you're back on the other end of the forest. And doing that saves, I think, about like 20 seconds compared to going to the second town we go to, and then just walking down from there. And also, at this point, we do have an upgraded sword that does double damage compared to what we were doing before. Because we're already at max attack, we're doing, I think, like 160 damage by base with our weapon. So yeah, everything... Any enemy that appeared before this point in the game is just going to get completely annihilated in one shot. However, there are new enemies that are actually able to kind of tough out those kind of attacks. Also, this is another good spot to level up magic a couple times, because in some sections in particular, we'll be using the wind spell a lot. So it's good to have plenty of MP available for it. Also, we get a sword beam effect by having max health at this point as well, which is kind of nice. Although, the sword beam doesn't do quite... Oh, I couldn't get to it, dang it. You can actually kind of skip this section in like one go if you get like the right timing. I don't know what affects the timing of that cycle, because sometimes I can make it, sometimes I can't. But if you can make that cycle, you can actually save about, I think, like 5-10 seconds. As opposed to just going to the end of the screen normally and then climbing up and then moving around. There'll be another trick like that we do that's more guaranteed to work. And also saves about the same amount of time. But yeah, that one's more iffy. Okay, I barely got that combination of button presses correct. And vertical section, which let me use the wind spell to its full effect. I can just skip the entire, like, Mega Man 2 block puzzle. Which is always heckin' amazing. Yeah, this section is mainly just a kind of a lot of like new types of enemies. Also, those little turtle enemies. Oh, I forgot to reflect that. Those turtle enemies there. They've been around since the start of the game. We've like never been able to do damage to them. But now that we have enough actual like raw attack power on our side, we can just destroy them with like just a glance, which is I always find kind of amazing or amusing at least. Yeah, we have a lot of little mini sections here separated by teleporters. Okay. Barely had time to use that as a platform. Oh, okay. Okay, I actually read that correctly. Let's actually go. And another amazing vertical section. Made amazing because of the wind spell. This is why the Wind 1 spell is the best spell in the game. That section is so much more fun with it. I wish there were more sections like that in the game. But alas. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think probably a lot of this stage, and even most of the next stage, could also be some good, like donation reading time as well. Also, okay. So I had a weird glitch that happened in this section before. I actually like fell off the platform, and I did like a whole bunch of like seemingly random movements that managed to make me survive all that. Also, in order to make this jump work, you have to land on that little block first. If you don't do that, it will not reset your wind spell, and you will not be able to actually make the height to get across there. So it's kind of a little movement thing. I decided to be safe there. It's a small movement thing, but it's a very important movement thing. Take that. I guess me take that. Okay. Yeah, because in order to reset your usage of the spell, you have to either get hit by an enemy or touch the ground. No other forms of reset will work for that. Little free extra XP here for extra level up points. And because you get basically 4,000 XP there with the amount of XP we need per level, that's about like 4 or 5 free level up points. I'll gladly take. Because one of the things to consider as well is that as you level up your health more, it does eventually start costing more than 1 level point to get each upgrade. You do want to be kind of judicious about when you use them. Oh no. Oh, he didn't poison me. Okay. There we go. Okay. Not the best, but by far not the worst. Also, so many level points just in the past like minute and a half. All right, one more cutscene as we enter the what I'm going to call the final stage of the game. There is technically another stage after the boss for this area, but it's like so small I don't really count as an actual stage. It's more like an intermission. Shiny light. Flame, no, don't go into the light. Oh, too late. Yeah, that guy used to do a lot more damage before the dev realized he was just doing too much damage. Because even with the half damage relic before, he would do like 4 hearts of damage. And I mentioned that to the dev, and it's like, well, I mentioned that in conjunction with another like damage calculation issue I was noticing, and he was like, yeah, those guys are doing way too much damage by default, so they lessen their damage as well, which I appreciate, honestly. Yeah, the dev has actually been very cool about like addressing bugs and random like issues with the game that got popped as well. Definitely a lot of props to the dev for just making an amazing game and also being as dedicated to actually like responding to community feedback and getting bug fixes out quickly and stuff like that. Dev is heckin' amazing in this game. Yeah, apparently there's like 2 different versions of those like little javelin and shield enemies. I don't really know what the functional difference is between them, honestly. Because I think there are some of the floating ones that were like that are in like the red armor, but they seem to do like the same damage and the same attacks as the yellow ones at that point. So I don't really know. Also, this is one of those sections where it's actually faster just to. Not really faster, but it's like it doesn't save you time to try to skip the platforms at all. So you just ride them like normal. Oh no. Oh my god, how did I save that? I misread like half of the timing on that, but I still made it work. As I can go. Also, one funny effect when it comes to teleporters as well is if you have any kind of status condition on you, like if you're poisoned, if you're on fire, if you're cursed, for some reason entering a teleporter just removes all those statuses from you. Also, this little fire snake guy, he's kind of a cool design, but he's really annoying. And what we do is we just like skip past him by just going off the screen so he loses tracking of us. Then once he loses tracking, he gets behind him. Oh my god, another save. Let's second go. But yeah, once he loses tracking of us, as long as we can get past him, he just completely forgets we exist at that point. There is one instance of that enemy that we can't skip because there's really no way to get above the ceiling. But that's a fairly manageable section, honestly. As long as you know what to look for when dealing with them. Because the main thing is he'll breathe like a long range of like fire at you with the fire that can stay on the ground for a while. Take that. And another small sequence break time. Right here. Then dash up here. Yeah, that also saves about like 15-20 seconds or so. As well as just continue on the path like normal. Supportive Wiggles! Welcome on in, Sim. How you doing tonight? Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah, another section right here, you want to try to go as fast as you can so you can skip or make that cycle. Just get past that. Because if you're like just low enough, that thing will in fact kill you as well. It's not that hard to do necessarily, it's just we need to make sure you're just consistent with your movement. Yeah, some of those guys are a little harder to skip than others, but most of them are skippable without too much hassle. Ow. So this guy will also chase you, but he is basically not a threat. You can just walk and dash forward, and he'll never actually hit you. He tries his best, but yeah. Here. I think it's just the damages there. Yeah, not gonna push that one. I'll always love using the ceiling to get extra pogo damage. Things like that. Oh, I actually managed to skip that guy. Okay. That's one you can skip, but it's kind of inconsistent for how to get through him. But that time I made it work, so cool. What about that movement makes him hit me? Somewhat just the way he turns around, I think he extends his hitbox to like a frame or something. Yeah, again, that guy's harmless. You just say hi to him, maybe give him a little pet, then you just call it a day. Oh, I actually avoided the mace that time. Nice. So this is the guy you cannot bypass in any way. So you're basically just trying to do it. I forgot that guy was there. You just do everything you can to kind of mitigate his existence. Which, like I said, as long as you're paying enough attention, it's not that hard to do, really. So, like I mentioned, when you activate a teleporter, you lose all status ailments. Okay, so apparently when it comes to teleporters, you can still press the up button like normal. And the curse doesn't affect that. That's something I just learned tonight. Also, you can attack these swamps with even like the sword beams and they die in one hit, which is super nice. Not those guys though. Yeah, these guys. This guy comes back, but he does the exact same thing as before, and with our half damage relic, he only does 1 heart of damage, so he's basically helpless at this point. I could have tried to make it to the right, but I wasn't willing to take that risk. At least the plus side is like all those cycles that are like unskippable or next to unskippable, you only ever need to wait 1 cycle anyway, so they're not so bad at least. How dare you not get down sad? One last try of this guy trying to be intimidating. Yeah, sometimes he'll do like contact damage with you, but that's all he can do. Alright, we're about to approach the penultimate boss. You can technically use the wind spell to get up on top of this platform a little bit faster, but it's like a fraction of a second. And in a 2+ hour run, a fraction of a second doesn't really help a lot. Especially when the main speed saving technique is just don't die. Alright, let's do this. So, we're going to be coming upon the Valkor fight, and it consists of 4 phases. Each of them is going to be basically linked to various elements that you acquire through the game. First is going to be fire, then ice, then... Ah, damn, we lost our thing already. Yeah, we just... Yeah, keep annihilating this guy. Treat him like the scrub that he is. And so when he gets to this part, we have to wait for him to start summoning the little light balls, which we can then reflect back and do a bunch of damage. And then in this phase, we just want to start attacking him as much as we can here to start. We want to dodge that little ice ball there, because it will freeze us. And now we just want to slice as much as we possibly can on him. There we go. And this phase is going to be a little bit more annoying. He comes down with the big... And yeah, so that thing will stun you. Okay, we're actually... Oh, I see health potion. And yeah, you want to try to be away from any spot that he teleports in, because the teleport does a lot of damage. The problem is you don't necessarily know where he's gonna teleport in front either. There we go, there's that phase. We're gonna spend a level point to heal just as a precaution, because we're about to die here. And this phase can still be kind of dangerous. And to my knowledge, there's actually still a glitch about, oh god. Yeah, there's still a glitch about how much damage he can do with one particular attack. Now hopefully that doesn't become... Okay, that was a good amount of hits actually, a second ago. So something with one of these attacks is kind of broken where it can still do like a whole bunch of damage. There we go. That wasn't a bad fight actually. The last phase could have been a little more efficient, but I'll definitely take that. That was a gold split? How was that a gold split? Game? Okay then. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this run is gonna... Yeah, there's no way we can save like a minute on this fight. Because this split alone is like 2 full minutes. We can still make it faster. So the main thing with this fight is there's gonna be a pair of purple orbs on either side of Vaughn's body. We need to get rid of those first before we can damage the head, which is his quote-unquote weak point. Right here. Each one, they take basically 4 hits at full power. You can also damage the hands in the meantime, before his head becomes vulnerable. Okay. Lower your head further, please. Yeah, as long as his head silhouette is highlighted, you can do damage to him. So you definitely want to make close to that whenever you have the opportunity. And also avoid getting attacked by anything that is actually... I got set on fire. That's unusual. I should heal. Stop yelling at me. There we go. And then time will be once we beat the boss, and the screen will give a quick flash to confirm that. I should heal. Apparently I'm on fire. Oh, I dashed into that one. Time. And yeah, there's also... Oh, that was the other incentive I wanted to do. I also wanted to add a donation incentive to actually be able to watch the cutscene that introduces this final boss, because it is like a fantastically done sequence of showing just every individual part of the boss's body showing up on screen at once. Then you realize just the scope of the fight you have to deal with, and then the way that he kind of like yells at you about how how superior he is and how you were foolish to come challenge him, and just even the font of the text used, just the entire scene is heckin' beautiful, and I want to be able to show that off as well. Because I do have a thing right now where it basically turns off all cutscenes, which is why that particular intro got skipped. I would gladly turn the cutscenes back on to be able to show that off. I would definitely look forward to that. But yeah, all things considered, not a bad run. We haven't had a lot of sub 210s, so I'll definitely take this one. Easy game, easy life, heck yeah. Okay, so I do wonder though, what... Well, I didn't check what our sum of best was before, so I don't know how much time we actually saved on the Yggdrasil split, but let's do... Okay, they're down here, so save that. And then, what is our new sum of best after that? Best segments. Oh my god! Our sum of best is a minute away from sub 2 hours. There would still need to be, I think, some new tech in order to make the sub 2 hours actually properly viable. But that is a lot closer than I would have expected to actually see that from just the route as it exists currently. Wow, okay. Oh, that's something to look forward to at some point in the hopefully near future, I guess. But yeah, so that was the speedrun for Heritage of Dragon's Tail. Yeah, along with the donation incentives, I'm wanting to try to get in here as well. Yeah, if any of them was one I really want to see put in there, it's specifically the any cutscene one. Only 4.49 seconds off. Okay, so I was comparing like the sum of best. Yeah, so that would be in full seconds. So yeah, it's 2 hours and 49 seconds is the current sum of best for everything. And welcome on into me. How you doing tonight? But yeah, so yeah, we got like a 209 something nice, so we didn't quite PB, but honestly, that was still a good run overall, so I will still definitely take that. Yeah, forgot to respond. Could be better today, but thank you for asking. Hope you're well. Considering the way this run went, I'd say I'm doing pretty good right now. I do kind of have to use the bathroom kind of badly at this point, but I still want to try to be able to finish up everything here. And yeah, so once again to the fast. Oh, also, General Nachos. Mechos is that offering Nachos. Maybe it is Mechos actually. Okay, for the longest time in my head, I thought he ran like a taco stand, but no, it's a nacho stand. But yeah, General Mechos, the guy that we fought earlier, who had like the gun that changed into random things, he becomes a nacho, like a nacho seller, stuff like that in the ending. I love that form. Just random, like peaceful little like food related thing. Just beautiful. But yeah, so with that, let's go ahead and find ourselves yeah, and before I forget to do this thing again, thank you again so much, Fastest First community, for taking a look at my run and considering it. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can get in, because I would love to be able to show this game off and just show off this game so that people are aware of this game. I feel like not enough people know this game even exists, and that's the entire reason I started speedrunning this in the first place. I played this, I forget if it was the Furry Games showcase or a Next Fest demo that I played last year. Well, not last year, around like late 2024, before this game came out. And yeah, this game is amazing. I want to show it out to more people, because more people need to be aware of this game. More people need to play this game. It is amazing, and it does not get enough nearly love it deserves. Also, hi, it's late and you're tired a bit. I definitely understand that one. I mean, I'm kind of like tired all the time, so I definitely understand that one. But yeah, let's go ahead and find ourselves a raid target. Yeah, I'm getting closer. Heck yeah. And I'm still getting gold splits too, so I'll definitely take those. It's possible that we may have had a gold split for one of the other ones earlier, but because I kept forgetting to actually make my splits, they may not have actually saved properly. But that's something we'll worry about in future. Who do we want to raid tonight? I see you're doing a thing, and you were here earlier. Oh, apparently you're... Okay, I kind of like how you have a UI for, like, just chatting. I'll at least leave an alert there for you. Oh. Okay, so I'm seeing somebody here who's apparently doing a charity streamathon right now. So let's go ahead and share some love with them. They're playing some form of Pokemon right now. I can't tell what specifically. It's one of the pixel-based generations, I can say that much at least. Can I copy the name, please? Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and give Tech a raid tonight. This will be our first time giving Tech a raid. We've had like 2 new person raids this week, and I'm kind of all for that, actually. I wish I could identify which Pokemon game this is, but I don't know. But yeah, like I said, they're doing a charity streamathon. I definitely want to heck and support that. So let's go. Where's my window? Here's my window. Yeah, let's go give Tech a raid. This channel is intended for mature audiences. And yeah, thank you again so much, everybody, for just hanging out with me and just Immortal again. Oh my God, just thank you for the so heckin' many biddies. Just oh my heckin' lord. But yeah, so with that, raid message. Why am I so bad at raid messages? He hates you, no. But he hates you endearingly. I'm sure. Come on. Okay, I think we'll do this as our remix because I literally cannot think of anything else. I'm trying to think of something like speedrun related or like fastest first related, and just like nothing is coming to mind. But I think we'll just go with this one. But yeah, let's go say hi to Tech and cheer them on for their streamathon. And with that, I'll see you all tomorrow. We're gonna be doing a Steam demo store tomorrow, so come on by. We have like 8 different demos available for playing, and I'm definitely eager to get all of them checked out. So I'll see you all at 8 p.m. Central tomorrow. And until then, I should bid you all a good night and your cat meme.